Welcome to the We Live It podcast. Once again, today we are live here at Cooper's Barbecue and Historical Stockyards in Fort Worth. We have an auction coming up today at 11 o'clock with a little over 12,000 head today, with a lot of good feeder cattle and a lot of good wean calves. We have a little section of calves off cows there that up at the Panhandle of Texas that are really neat. A lot of programs to them. We got a really, really nice set of bred heifers at the end of the day. So tune in there at in the Cowgirl channel or at live-ag.com. Today we have Wade Leist. He's filling in for Casey. Casey bailed on me again. He had some meetings down in Houston he had to get to. And also we have Dean Edge from Rimby, Alberta, Canada. See, I knew I'd mess that up.
51st state.
Yes, exactly. The 51st state, exactly. And he is the reigning world champion, livestock champion auctioneer. And Wade is the past.
Yep, I was 24. He's 25.
Yes.
And he was down in the area doing a qualifier emceeing a qualifier for next year's World Championship.
Yeah,
in Fredericksburg,
Texas. Down with the Geist Whites. They do an awesome job. That sale's been there for a long. It's been in that family for a long time.
Celebrating their 75th anniversary. Part of the reason why they had the qualifier there for their family, right there for 75 years.
Yeah, good people, great people. I've known them a long time. I used to go down there and buy a few cattle out of that barn. It was a long time ago, but it was good. I used to enjoy going down there. So as far as being an LMA champion, you tour around the country. You go do sales for other people, like what you'll do today with us. You and Wade will sell for us today on our auction. We thank you for coming and thank you for joining us. We love to have champions behind the mic marketing our customers' cattle, and they love it as well. So kind of tell us about your travels, where you've been. We was talking a little bit before we got started here about Fredericksburg, kind of when you go to those towns, you get to go meet the community, you get to do neat things. So kind of tell us a little bit about that. At school deal interested me.
Well, Fredericksburg is actually, I've never done it before, where I got to go to the high school and meet with the FFA. They have a program that is just beyond belief. Their agriculture program for high school is what a lot of colleges would be. There was a meat shop in there, and they study meat sciences. And meat sciences is a regular science class there that counts towards their credit as science class. So it's a German town. It's a long time ago, and a lot of the Omas and Opas still speak German. So the one teacher, he said, I was, going through a course, and we were learning how to make sausage, and we make the sausage, and the one kid said, well, this isn't how Opa makes it. He said, so it's a big deal in Fredericksburg going back for generations, but the agriculture side of it, I was so impressed. They have their show barns, their show trailers. A lot of it is community supported, but for them to have a butcher shop, a meat facility like that in high school, I was blown away, because that's a college thing at home, and maybe even further than college at home. What a head start those kids have in life for being in the ag side. They've got a few acres there where they raise their own crops. There's also a greenhouse where they raise some specialty crops and do some studies on different types of crops. There's small cow herd, but they want to get to the point where they finish those calves off in their own facility, in their own feedlot, and then slaughter them, butcher them, harvest them right there in their own facility, and then put that meat right into the culinary program they also have in high school. I was super impressed.
You got to speak with the students?
Yeah, I spoke to the students and answered some questions.
Was there a bit of a language barrier?
I was going to say, did they understand you?
Yeah.
They spoke plain English.
Well, we weren't worried about them.
Yeah. I've been to South Carolina and South Georgia. There was a language barrier there. And I might as well have been talking French. You probably don't even know what that means. I might as well have been talking Spanish, because in South Carolina and southern Georgia, it was a total different language. I didn't have my bib overalls on either, so we couldn't communicate that way. But no, yesterday was real good.
Good deal. Kind of a little bit of background on you kids.
Yeah, I got 3 kids starting high school rodeos. They've been to 3 or 4 now, so tomorrow is like the 4th one. We have the junior high program just like they do down here, so my twins are in it, and they're 13 years old, Lane and Lexi. Lexi competes in 6 events, and my boy Lane competes in 2. And then the high school rodeos start the next day, and my older daughter, Erin, she's 15, and she's a sophomore in high school, and she competes in 4 events. Of course, all their open events and go tying and everything like that. And then the twins also play hockey. Hockey started up here 2 weeks ago. They've been to summer camps in August, and they skate 3-4 nights a week now, and then tryouts will be next week. So boy, lots to do at home, lots of traveling.
Sound like lots going on. That rodeo and the hockey will just keep y'all busy chasing them kids around. But man, what better life than to put it in your kids like that? So, and I guess this kind of keeps you away a little bit, but
Oh, a little bit. I used to travel all the time, and now I'm just a little bit maybe further away is all. But they're part of the program and part of the journey. So
You used to travel a lot roping calves, is that correct?
yeah, I used to rope calves a fair bit, and I've been to Fort Worth here, probably 8 times or so. I used to go to all the winter rodeos, Denver, Fort Worth, San Angelo, San Antonio, and then spend most of the summer at home in Canada, going to all the rodeos up there as well. But I've been right over there a couple times, the Cowtown Coliseum for the Friday and Saturday night ropings.
Yep, good deal.
And then you're not only accustomed to Texas, but don't you winter, or did you winter in, was it Arizona?
Yeah, since about 2001. I've been going to Arizona in the wintertime, and I got family that has 3 acres there, and it's a real destination for a lot of Western Canadians, especially if they got horses and whatever. So we do spend a fair bit of time in Arizona in the wintertime.
Do you bring the kids down too, or?
Oh yeah,
Is that
kids started coming since they were just born. Yeah.
cool?
Your roping career. So when I started going up to, when I met Dean, it was at the International Livestock Auctioneer Championship, which is in Calgary, and they hold it in conjunction with a stampede. So I found out about that contest in like 2014, 15 or something like that, or maybe a little bit before that, but that's kind of when I started thinking I'd like to go to it. And I went up there in 16, and I didn't meet Dean because I think you were out roping at the stampede instead of in the auctioneer contest. And everybody kept telling me that when Dean gets back into competitive auctioneering, you're gonna have to look out because he's a top-notch hand, and of course he is. But that's where I met him, was up in Calgary, and over the years. So what's some of the, like, watching a rodeo up there? That was a huge deal for me. And what's some of the heights that you went to in the rodeo world?
Well, I guess at Calgary, it's pretty tough. The top 20 in the world get to go then. Now the top 30 in the world get to go, and that's all they limit it to. But I made the Final Four there one time. I tied fastest calf I ever tied. I was 7 flat, and I split 3rd and 4th. Cody Ole was 6'8", Matt Shizawa was 6'8". I can't remember who else was 7 flat with me. And it was a little bit like, well, got to step it up a little bit in this next round, I was always real near the top. Probably not the strongest. I know I maybe look at now, but probably not the strongest guy in the world ever for some situations. And I always had a different avenue to go down to be an auctioneer, and those avenues kind of parted ways, and I got pretty lucky in both of them.
So do you sell a couple days a week in Canada, or where are you auctioning?
Yeah, I mostly sell for Vold Jones of Vold, or VJV Marketing Group. It's owned by a different family now. It used to be owned by the Vold family for 3 generations, and now a new family's involved, and they're probably going to have it 3 generations or 4 generations also. How fast they produce is probably why. But so I get to sell. They own 5 markets. I sell at 2 every week. The one in my hometown in Rimbey, Alberta, is I'm the sales manager there. We're open seasonal. We close down for a few months in the summertime because we are a little bit smaller. Our country used to be covered in cow calves everywhere, and now every time you turn around, it's a wheat field going up or a canola field. So we're losing quite a bit of pasture ground there. But anyway, I get to sell there on Tuesdays, go to Ponoka on Wednesdays, and then here starting the end of October, we'll have a bread sale every other Friday, like one in Ponoka, one in Rimbey, one back in Ponoka. But I also fill in once in a while at Westlock, Alberta, where they own another market. And then in northern British Columbia at Dawson Creek, they own a big one up there. I'll go there once or twice a year. And they also own one in Beaver Lodge, which is a small town in northern Alberta as well. So I can keep busy doing that. I do a lot of bull sales and replacement heifer sales and horse sales that are all over kind of central and northern Alberta. The bull sales, we got a real strict season on that for some reason. That kind of starts 10th of February. There's a handful before that, the end of January, but from 10th of February till first week of April, there's 4 or 5 bull sales to go to a week too.
Tell us how you got started in the auction industry. That was one of the questions that I was surprised that people were the most interested in when I was making my tour last year. Tell us how you got started.
Yeah, everybody does ask that because maybe they all think, geez, I could do that. And I guess we thought that early enough in life that we could go down that path. There was a high school teacher, and he would chant, just blab on once in a while. Mr. Collis, I know his family really good, and he was really good to me, and he would just chant once in a while. I thought, man, that's something I could do. And I used to go to the auction all the time. That's how my dad marketed his own cattle, and we'd go to bull sales, and that's how we'd buy bulls, is at the auction. Everything was done at the auction. I was lucky enough to grow up about 5 miles away from 2004 livestock WLAC champion Dan Skeels, and I was able to be under his wing right from when I was a little guy. The Skeelses have been friends of my family forever, and Dan Skeels is the best auctioneer there is. You're a world champ, I'm a world champ, and not degrading you at all, but he's better than both of us. He's as good as it gets.
There's a crust to that, and he's in the crust.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And I was able to work under him, and now I've worked with him, and now actually I'm the auctioneer for his bull sale. So if it hadn't been for him, I might have got roadblocked here and there and just would have stayed pretty local. But he's the guy that kept the ball rolling for me to move up to higher levels.
We asked this to Wade when we had him on first. What is the strangest thing you've ever sold?
I got asked that the other day in Texas, and they didn't think too much of it. I actually didn't sell it. I was in southern Georgia, and a snake came in the ring. Indoors over here, outdoors over here. The guy in the ring jumped up on the stand, and he's all scared, and I didn't know what was going on. Well, a snake just crawled in the ring. That's the strangest thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
In Texas, they're like, Yeah. And the teacher said,
"That wasn't a skunk."
How many kids here have seen a snake? And they all put their hand. I'm like, oh, well, ain't too many snakes in Rimby. But so it might not have been the strangest thing I've ever sold, but there was a snake in the ring right there.
Well, I believe we'd have had to clear the ring.
That'd have been the first one out.
Yeah, I'd be gone. Oh man, so you enjoyed your time so far? I mean, it's kind of
it's been wonderful. It's beyond belief. Wade knows what I'm talking about. And every single place you go, it's just so many good people. And I'm going to say 95% of them are so family orientated too. That they are third, fourth generations, and a lot of them are celebrating 50 years, 75 years of owning that auction market in that town, in that family. Elgin, Nebraska, Ted Baum, him and his 7 brothers and sisters, I believe it is, and his mother, who's 94 years old, is the office manager still. And all of his nieces, I shouldn't say all of them, but quite a few of his nieces and nephews and everybody. What a family operation. And a lot of them are just like that. Geiswhite family, yesterday, they're third generation, nieces and nephews, aunts and uncles, everybody's there for the 75th anniversary. I get a real joy out of that. That's the way it is at home, too. Like the auction market, the Danes family in Innisfail, the Nielsen's, the Vold family, the Phalens will be like that. The family atmosphere, that 3 generations, I think that's a big part of it that really highlights.
That's a big part of our industry as a whole. I mean, as a livestock industry, it's a family-oriented and relationship business. I mean, the family deal just pretty good. So,
are you doing anything? I started doing this when I was doing it, and then I got lost. Are you doing anything to like memorialize your trips? It's been hard for me. I was just talking to Eric Smith earlier in Alabama. He was reminding me what we did for lunch and you know why this story came up and how humorous it was, and it just took me a minute to kind of like to catch back up. But I started making a diary, and I probably went halfway through documenting these. Are you doing anything to memorialize it?
I should be doing more, definitely. Of course, take a lot of pictures. Usually it's of the steak or whatever, wherever I am. But I do try to take some pictures and some videos of every auction market I've been in, and of course family pictures too, and send a lot of them into the LMA so they can do what they want with them for advertising purposes. But I should be doing more, obviously. Make sure I get some sort of memorabilia, whether it's a shirt or a hat. Of course, a hat, because I can have a collection of hats. My father-in-law, he came with me to a couple when we were in Missouri and Iowa, and I don't know, he left with like a truckload of hats. So I'm trying to get him a hat everywhere, and myself a hat everywhere. I should be writing more down though. So it's better remembered. Do take a lot of pictures and a lot of videos, though, and try to remember that part of it. The reason why I say that, we had probably the best steak I've ever had in my life. The Geiswhite family put on a meal there the night prior, and you go to any steakhouse, it had been like a $125 meal. This thing was huge. But that day, I had biscuits and gravy in the morning. Those egg teachers took me to some Texas Authentic, Whataburger, and then I had that giant steak dinner that night. And I drank sweet tea all day, and I said it yesterday, like my calorie count was just over 22,000.
You're going to get back into rodeo. You're going to be a steer wrestler here before the end of your tour.
Hey, Katie, I think that was a hint. We got to get some caps ready for Dean before
he got one.
I got one already.
Jason got
I need
one.
2, though, one for my father-in-law.
He needs 2, one for the father-in-law. Well, guys, we probably need to wrap it up here. Dean, thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being a promoter for the industry, for the auction industry. It's the best way to market cattle, in my opinion, that there is. If you want to know true prices ever, you take them to auction.
Well, of course, there'd be no no way we'd be at these levels without the auction. You put them on Facebook and say you want $750, the buyers would be happy to pay you.
Yeah.
But you take them to the auction, they bring $2,750.
Yep, that's right. Wade, thanks for filling in.
No problem.
Everybody in social media land, thank you all very much for watching. If you had any questions for Dean or for Wade or for myself, just put them in the comments. We'll get right back to you with those. Don't forget to hit subscribe and like. And if you want to be a part of the program or you want to do some advertising, go to live-ag.com or reach out to Katie, Katy, at live-ag.com, and she will get you fixed up. Thank y'all for joining us, and God bless.